Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another session of Design X Social for you and to clarify your questions and to answer some very interesting questions we've been getting over the email. So, welcome back, and I hope people participating, mentors and participants and jury members, are being a part of this live session. But let's get started. I'm Rohan, and you've seen quite a lot of me in the recent past. So I'll continue to host today's session. So if you have any questions, do keep them posted on the YouTube channel or wherever you're watching it from. And I'll try and take your questions one by one, and we'll take it from there. So hey guys, I see already people joining in, so that's great. So let's start. So I think we've just finished our phase one submission of Design X Social. The phase one submission was to identify a problem you wanted to solve, and yesterday midnight was the deadline. And we're glad to say we've received most of you all have submitted, and we are already begin to review your submissions, and we see some great potential, great ideas and great problems which have already been identified. So that's cool. Let's go and let's talk a little bit about what's coming next. So if I can maybe bring my screen up. Cool. Great. So, guys, 23rd July was yesterday. So we've seen a lot of you submitted. Those of you who have not submitted, I think that there are very few who have not submitted yet. We would urge you all to maybe submit it as soon as you can. The deadline has already passed. So make sure you get on it. So your Google Slide template link is right here. And I don't know, we've been communicating quite a lot with all of you over email and over social media and over weekend talks like this. And we repeatedly shared the template link. So if you're still wondering where you can find them, you got to check your inbox, or you just come on to the EMO Design X Social page and you'll find the link right over here. So that's I hope sorted. Although those of you who reached out to us over email, we have tried and responded to most of your questions and queries. So that's a little bit about the template. If you don't know what the template looks like, this is how the template looks like, and you are supposed to submit till your slide 6. Yes, slide 6, which is your target user persona, which includes the importance, the urgency, the problem identified, and of course your team member along with your mentors. So what I want to stress on now is that you are already on 24th July today, and we have maybe around a week's time for you all to submit your solution. That's on 1st August. So those of you who already started working on your solution, that's great. But those of you who have not started, I think you got to pull up your socks and get started and get working on it, because this will be your final submission, and this will also include a video which will kind of 3-minute video which will talk about your whole journey of Design X Social in terms of your problem and in terms of the solution you're putting together. So that's on 1st August, less than a week, and I guess there's really not much time. So you got to utilize your time really well, and we've given that 1 week on purpose, because we want to keep the timeline short so that the ideas are coming out very quickly and you have solutions coming out quickly. And of course, there is the overall angle of urgency with the pandemic we are facing right now. So let's not forget why we're all doing this. So keep your eye on the target and try and submit your proposal by 1st August. And after that, I think it's all on us when we will come back to you. That's a little bit about your problem and your solution, which you got to submit soon. The other thing which we want to talk about is this link. This is the Your More Design School link. And I'm sure all of you have received this link, or your team leads would have received this link via email. And what you got to do is you have to click on the link and sign up. This, what you're seeing right now, is already me signed into the link. So you're seeing all the courses I have over here. But what you got to do is we are offering a free Design Thinking 101 course, and you got to go check this out because we're putting all the updates, all the recordings of today's session as well into the into this uh, course. So you got to check this out for sure, because we have given all of you so many design resources which you can check out. We've also put in some mentor guide and the participant guide and things like that. Even your template is included in this. So check this out for sure, and make sure all of you, although even if you have not referred this until now, you got to check this out, because all the information you need on design thinking and more is right over here. We of course have other courses which you can definitely see, but it's completely up to you. But this Design Thinking 101 course is absolutely free, and you can take this up. So that's a little bit I wanted to talk about. Now I think if you have questions, we can jump into your questions, and we can get started from there. So I see a lot of people are here already. So let's do a quick roundup and see how many of you all have maybe submitted your problem. Can you maybe just say submitted or done in the chat, and we'll see how many people. Let's do that. Yeah, let's put done maybe in the chat, and we'll see how many of you who are attending this call have already submitted. But if you have not, I think you got to really do it as soon as possible. There is not really much time. So until the questions maybe come up, let's get into what you have to submit for your next stage of submission, that is your August 1st submission. So from slide 7, I think that's your submission for August 1st, and it starts with your exploration. So you got to capture all your ideas and solutions in this slide, and you can put in pictures or sketches or whatever you've done, and maybe you got to describe one or two alternative solutions you have considered other than the final direction you're taking. And the next slide talks about the final solution and innovation part. So you got to address how does your solution address the problem identified and how it is innovative. So you got to describe it and how it benefits your users and what's the experience it's giving overall. So that's this 9th slide we're talking about. And if you move on to the 10th slide, that's the user experience part of it. So you got to talk about how does the UX of your solution looks like. You can use any medium to communicate or show your UX of your solution. So we've received a lot of questions on what kind of a demo of your user experience is accepted. It's really up to you. Whatever maybe depicts your whole journey the best, I think you got to go with that. But there's maybe you should minimum what we're expecting is 5 mockups or 5 sketches or something like that, which is substantial and which explains your whole user experience end to end. And also, again, don't forget about the video. The video is really important because there's only so much you can tell. There's only so much of a story you can narrate through the presentation. That's where the video gives you an edge. So if your video is really interactive and really nice, I'm sure it's going to do well with the jury, and I'm sure they're going to better understand what you're trying to say. Because the first round of shortlisting, which happens for the finalists, that's going to happen offline, which means you will not be directly able to present to the jury members. So the submission, what you're going to do, only that the jury members will be seeing. So make sure your slide deck and the videos are self-explanatory. Only the finalists who are selected across 4 categories, they will be able to directly interact with the jury and present their submission. So for the first round of finalists, I think it's definitely your presentation and video which is going to do the job. So don't forget to do the video. There are some restrictions on what kind of video it should be, that it has to be less than 3 minutes, and make sure you don't use any copyright images or copyright music or audio or anything like that. because that's going to get pulled down from YouTube, and automatically you will get disqualified for the People's Choice Award. So make sure your video is done properly. The next slide talks about the design process. So meanwhile, guys, just keep posting your questions wherever you're watching this. After I finish running you through the presentation, we're going to take some questions. This session is going to go on for maybe 20 more minutes. So make sure you post all your questions, and we'll take it up after this. Yes. So coming back to this, I think you got to talk about the design process. What's the process you have followed, and maybe also describe the process as to why you have chosen this method or this approach towards your problem and your solution. This is again very important. And if you have gone through the website, you will probably understand that each of these slides you see is sort of a criteria of evaluation for the jury. So if you miss out on anything, that's going to automatically knock some points out of your final score with the jury. So make sure you don't miss any of it, and check out the website for a detailed list on the evaluation criteria. But this is the bare minimum you got to do. You can do more than this, but this is the minimum we are expecting. And coming to the next slide, that's the impact on the society. So this is a social competition. We are doing this for the social good. So make sure the kind of impact your solution or the problem you have identified is creating on the society, and you got to describe how it is impacting the users you identified earlier, right? And that's super important. So make sure you stress on this a lot. And the next part is equally important. That's the sustainability part. So you got to talk about how is your solution sustainable, because the theme of this 2021 edition of DesignX Awards revolves a lot around sustainability. So you got to talk about how your solution tackles the challenges in the case of the next wave, how it is long lasting, how it is sustainable, and how it is actually good for the planet. And you got to explain why your solution or how your solution is sustainable in this slide. The next slide is execution and business viability. You got to talk about how your solution can be implemented and how it can be successful if it were to be launched in real world, and if it were to be actually scaled up and handed to the users to actually use in real world. So you got to talk about this. The reason why we are doing this slide is because we want to encourage people who are interested, the finalists basically, who are interested to take their solution, take their idea further by bringing in some investors and things like that. So that's going to be done post the competition, but that's the motivation you're going to have for another motivation. Basically, you're going to have for being a part of this competition. So make sure your solution is executionable and it's also viable business wise. And this is the bare minimum we would expect from you on August 1st. That's your phase 2 submission for your solution. But we'd really love to see what you can do. This is, of course, a basic template. Uh, you What you got to do basically through this template is meet the criteria. But other than that, how you're going to design it, how you're going to do your slides is completely up to you. There is no limit on the color or the font or anything, because we've had some questions. So I'm trying to clarify those questions as well. So make sure you use the slide deck however you want to, but just try and meet the criteria. And if you're doing something more than that, that's good as well. At the same time, don't make it too hard for the jury to go through your presentation, because there's only going to be a limited time they will have to review all your presentations. And the more information which is not needed you give, it's going to be hard on them to evaluate your solution. So that's a bit about the presentation. We've done this previously, but I hope this helped, because we've received a lot of questions and still there are a few people who are not able to find the link. The link is everywhere. Check your inbox, go to the website, check it out on social media. It's everywhere. I'm sure most of you have found it, and most of you have already submitted your phase 1 of your submission. So that's great. Keep the momentum going. Don't 1 week is a tight time, so be very focused and don't give up now. Be very motivated, and I'm sure the mentors are doing their job by trying to motivate all of you. So keep going, and it's just 1 week to go, and we really can't wait to see all your amazing solutions. And the internal team at UMO is going to have a really great time with the jury reviewing all your projects. So we really can't wait for that. But just 1 week to go, so let's keep going. All right. So I think we are getting some questions as well, and I'll try to take it up one by one. We only have about 15 minutes. Hey guys, looks like some fun comments are going on. Can we edit the first phase submission? If you already submitted it, you can, yes, you can edit it for your phase two submission. But whatever you've submitted now, that's what the jury is going to be reviewing for phase one. And remember, uh, the jury will only get back to you in case something is completely wrong with your presentation. That's a very unlikely scenario. So don't wait for us to come back. Just keep going. There's going to be a very maybe one or two people who are going to you know whom we are going to get back to. That is also in case something is completely wrong. But for your phase two, you can definitely edit your phase one submission. There's no restriction on that. The reason we've divided into two phases is basically to stress a lot of importance on the identification, problem identification part. Usually it gets missed out, and there are a lot of focus in, especially when it's a short span of time, the focus usually goes towards the solution. So we want to stress a lot on the problem. That's the reason it's divided into two phases, but you can definitely edit it. Yes. How many finalists would be chosen? Uh, I think it's about 10 finalists per category. Uh, that's, I think, I think it's 10, and you have four, so 40 finalists. But whatever you submit, right, the video which I just spoke about, that's going to be automatically eligible for the People's Choice Award. So that's about that. So totally, it's going to be 12 awards in total, but there's going to be 40 finalists who are going to be competing for those 12 awards. Next question is there a limit of number of screens we can put in the presentation? Um, so I don't want to put a limit as such, because it's really not possible to commonly say how many screens should each one of you put. So that's up to you. But what you should probably be doing with your screens is that it should be very representable of the experience you're going to be offering. But as such, there is no limit. But again, if you're putting 10 slides of screens, and that's going to be tough for anybody to follow. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, right, the template, how you're going to use it is completely up to you. Just meet the criteria and you should be good. The template is just a sort of an easy guide for people to get started, and that's about it. So I see the team is also answering some questions, so I'll try and skip those questions and move ahead. 40 finalists from stage one presentation. No, the finalists are going to be decided after the stage two submission. There's the evaluation the jury is going to do for stage one is to just make sure that the work you're doing is in line with the theme, and there's nothing really off the theme. But that's very unlikely to happen because you have all the information you need and the template is in place and there are mentors to guide you. So we don't foresee anything like that to happen. But that's just what's going to happen with stage one. All the finalization, all the shortlisting is going to happen after the stage two submission. Can you throw some light on the alternative part of the solution? I'm not sure I get what your question is, uh, but let me maybe just check the slide which you're maybe talking about. And if you're talking about the explorations, so usually you just don't go with the one idea you initially got, right? You would have explored a couple of other ideas. So we just want to talk about what are the other ideas you considered before you finalized with that one idea? That's what the slide is about, if that's what you're asking. Mentors are really good, doing a lot for us. That's great, man. Awesome. We've really tried our best to uh, curate the mentors as best as we can. We know for a fact that the mentors are very qualified and they're really great. And we had some very interactive and fun sessions with them as well. So it's really good that you're having a good time with your mentors. Do we need, where did that question go? Yeah, do we need to upload the whole presentation, include? Uh, So what we are asking is for those first few slides, and that's I think till your target persona. But if you've done more, you can submit it. But what's going to be reviewed is until then, as only until the problem part. But you can just keep continuing to work on the presentation. That's what we'd like to stress. You don't need to stop for anything over there. Does our content needs to be exploratory or can we keep it crisp? Content that's it has to be explanatory and it has to be crisp. That's what I'm going to say, because like I said, you're not going to be there to present directly to the jury members. What they're going to be looking at is the work you did in your presentation and in your video. So you have two mediums to explain the work: your slide deck and your video. So try to leverage both and uh, tell a story and talk about what you've done and how it's impactful and all the things we just went over. But it has to be crisp and explanatory. That's what I would say. Yeah. Is alternative solution mandatory? uh it's not really, but there's got to be some reason why you chose that specific idea, right? Or you can't just think of one idea and decide to go with it without not considering other options or other ideas. So that's the reason that slide is precisely there. It's good to always have your alternative ideas put in as well. I'm sure teams must have done some kind of a brainstorming process or a brainstorming session. So put those ideas down. That's what we're trying to say. Not able to access the design thinking course. Um, I'm not sure why, Anita, but maybe just check your email. We should have definitely sent you an email. I don't know if it's gone to your spam. Maybe you should check that out as well. But maybe the code is different for mentors. So Anita, I remember. So maybe the code might be different. Yes, I think we have the Yomo team I think they've answered that in the comments. So yes, use your code DXS21 mentor for the mentors to access their content. Basically, it's the same, more or less. For the participants, we've not included the mentor sessions we've done for the mentors. We've included that. So that's about it. Uh, do we need to present alternative ideas in the video as well, or should it have only the final solution? See, we don't have any specific guidelines as to how your video should be. Uh, what it has to be is it should be uploadable on YouTube without any copyright issues, and it has to be a maximum of 3 minutes, and it has to explain your problem and solution. So how you're going to create the video in a way that it's really nice to watch is completely up to you, but there's no specific restriction on what the video should include and what it should not. It's up to your judgment, but of course it has to include your problem and solution. Is there any format for video making, or we get freedom to design our video? Design it however you want to, man. Like I said, we don't use any copyright material. Design it however you want to, and don't cross 3 minutes, and don't give any weird formats which can't be uploaded on YouTube. So that's about it. Anita, you got the email with the link, but it's not working. Yeah, try it. Yeah, do try it out. If not, we'll try and assist you after this call, Anita. Sakshi, what all can be included in the video and how long duration should be? See, primarily, we would expect to see the problem and the solution in the video, but it's 3 minutes, so it's up to you how you want to utilize the video and how you want to tell a story and how effectively you want to convey what you want to convey to the jury. But there's no restriction on what kind of video it should be or how it should look like and things like that. It's completely up to you. So we're not giving a template for the video. The template is only for the presentation. The video, you have complete freedom to do it however you like. It's the same with the presentation as well. It's just that you got to meet the criteria, but it's completely up to you how you want to design and do your presentation and your video. You have complete freedom. Yes, I think the team has also pasted the link for the 2020 Design X Awards edition. There you'll find a lot of videos submitted from last year's participants. So you can use that as inspiration. It's of course there on the UMO's YouTube channel as well. You can check it out there also. You can also see the kind of views some of those people have got to some of those contenders for the People's Choice Award. So even in case that the jury maybe didn't finalize your solution and your presentation, you still have a chance to run for the People's Choice Award. And that's going to be, the video is going to be put up on YouTube, so you can encourage your friends and family to watch your video on YouTube. And towards the end of the competition, we're going to check what's the final number of unique views your you know solution has had on YouTube, and that's the team that's going to win the People's Choice Award. So the more nicer and the more explanatory your video is, the more unique and innovative it is, I think you definitely have a chance to be running for the uh, People's Choice Award. So yes, I hope I've answered all the questions, and I think we have 2 more minutes to go. And in case you have more questions, uh, we can try and answer. If not, I think this will try and end the call now. And I hope you have all the information you need and all the resources you need for. Okay, so I see some more questions coming in. Okay, let's take a couple of more questions before we close. Last, it had some initial intro which was included. Nice question. Ashish, looks like you watched quite a few videos. That's going to be stitched together later on after your submission by our UMO team. So that's nothing you got to do. That's for us to kind of stitch those first few seconds and the last few seconds together. That's what it's about. You don't have to worry about that. You just have to submit your video. That's about it. We are going to take care of that. Can you read all the 4 categories of the finalists? You can maybe check that out on the website, Arijit, because I think I don't remember it exactly. But if the team can answer it in the messages, they can do that. Yeah, I think the team's answering, so check that out. But just go to the website, man. You'll find all such basic answers you're looking for over there. How many wireframes do we need to keep in the design solution? See, we can't tell you how many wireframes, right? Because we don't know how much, how many wireframes any solution would require. There's no way to generalize and give you a number. So it's up to you. Like I said, you got to explain your solution well. So whatever the number it is, make sure it explains your user experience of your solution well. That's about it. Yeah, I think we are at 9:30, so we'll end the call for today. Thanks a lot, guys. We hope you're having some fun, because we have some more exciting YOMO initiatives coming up, and I see a lot of you are having fun, not just in the comments, but with your solution and your presentation as well. So keep the good work up, and we really had fun looking at your work. as well. So keep it up, keep it going. You just have one more week for your final submission, and then there's going to be more fun activities coming up at UMO for you to check out and be a part of as well. But until then, thank you so much, and we will see you guys soon, maybe next week. And have a nice day. Thank you, guys.